everybody, and welcome to sayreportjr present.
You give your own, you count yourself in. How are you surprised by yourself when you hit the record button?
I don't know. I also just called this Say Report Junior Presents. That's not what this is.
Say Report Junior presents the Say Report Junior. Not even the. Damn it.
It's just Say Report Junior.
Say Report Junior presents Say Report Junior episode.
Let's just start this over again because for some reason I can't not fuck up an opening. Hello everybody and welcome to Say Report Jr. I'm gonna burp. Oh god. It's an awful one. So it's like it's not like a normal person's god.
It's like when the Oreo chunks get stuck in your cookies and cream. Awful.
You know that's what I'm drinking right now, right?
That was a guess. I mean, I probably could have guessed that,
yeah.
But I'm not.
All right, let's try this one more time just to make sure we can get through it. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Say Report Jr., a podcast you should be listening to, subscribe to, and downloading every single week. I am one of your hosts, Dayle DOES.
I'm the other host, Zack.
And for reasons he has no idea why.
I'm just a sleepy host.
No,
I'm still recovering from my overnight shift, which I think in 2 weeks I have to do another one.
Do you
because
really?
People keep going on vacation. This is the problem. There's only like 4 drivers for what amounts to 15 shifts between us.
Yeah.
So when one or two of them go on vacation.
It makes sense.
Oh, I have to walk around the haunted hotel.
It's great, though.
It's not even haunted. It's haunted by people who show up at 1 a.m. and want a room that didn't plan on one.
It could be haunted. You don't know. You could be in a Luigi's Mansion, new one. Situation.
Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was just Luigi Mansion 3 or if it had another title. I
don't believe there's a subtitle to it. I'm still mad that Dark of the Moon. I know it doesn't have a Luigi's Mansion 2, and it still has a subtitle. It's dumb because it sounds like a side game, but it's just that's just Luigi's Mansion 2.
Yeah.
I also know it's not Dark of the Moon. That's
Transformers.
Yes, I was trying to think of another Michael Bay property, and I just froze. Damn it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Damn it.
Oh, my God. It's a good thing that you're sleepy. Wait. Yeah, no.
I'm Doc.
I was also going to...
grumpy and happy.
I hate you. I don't... You know I don't hate you.
Wait, are you against the 7 Dwarfs?
No, of course not. I named my Diglett... My Diglett team after the 7 Dwarfs.
Forgot about that. Sorry, I was too busy naming my Rhyhorn and Rhydon cool things like Vin and Diesel. So.
Yep. Yeah, that's cool. It is cool because you get to. Well, do you get to ride on both of them?
Yes, but Rhydon's one of the ones where you can sit on their shoulders instead of like riding them. I ride my Pokemon a quarter mile at a time. Damn it.
Family, man, family. Oh God. Anyways,
what are you doing? What is this show?
I don't know. I was gonna say it's a good thing you're tired because I'm also kind of tired, but it was gonna be a weird sentence and I stopped myself.
It's been a while since we've done like a whole episode of us just completely losing our minds.
I know. It's been a minute.
So like I said, I'm exhausted.
What you been up to?
I'm exhausted because I had to do an overnight shift at the hotel, which it was weird.
I can imagine.
It was weird because, one, speaking of hauntings, I walked by so all of the machines in the fitness center we have like 4 treadmills and a couple of step machines and stuff, and they all have TVs attached to them. And I walked by.
God, if you say that one of them was moving,
I walked by, and they were all off. And then I walked by again, and one of them was like on and glitchy, like straight up Ring style glitchy.
Nope.
Of course, it's brightly lit, and despite Steven Spielberg's best efforts and Tobe Hooper's best efforts, I still do not find bright lights terrifying. So in a brightly lit room. I had no problem walking in, and I just like the power button wasn't working on the machine. The machine is weird too because the buttons are like flat, so there's no like button to feel when you
Mm-hmm.
press it. So I can't tell if I'm actually pressing it or if it's not working or whatever. So nothing works
Yeah, it's
after
a
like
touch
10 minutes.
sensor. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was like, screw it. And I just walked away. I was like, they'll deal with it in the morning. It is not my problem. And then I walked by like 20 minutes later and it was off again.
Yeah, so that's haunted. That's what I'd constitute as haunted.
Then there are these three young women come in at like 2 a.m. to get a room. God knows why they were coming. They probably no wait. I had to go to their room at 2 a.m. Not what it sounds like. Internet, sorry. Let me back up and fix my timeline. They checked in around like
Oh
midnight
my god.
or 12:30. And then around 2 a.m., we have this weird messaging system in the hotel. So like if you don't want to call the front desk, you
Mm-hmm.
literally can like just send like an email down to the front desk and then they have to check it like every hour to see if there's like requests for towels or something.
Huh.
And so like I working the front desk gets a message that says something like, I'm in this room and the people next door are being very loud or it's 2 a.m. and I have a flight, it's all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So this is when it occurs to me that literally
It is your job.
there are two people in this hotel at night
Mm-hmm.
that work for this hotel. A person at the front desk and me.
Mm-hmm.
Like we don't that's it. That's it. There's no one on like housekeeping at night. So whenever these requests come in for this shift, like whoever's the van driver is just also the person that fulfills these requests.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit. They just let people stay in hotels with like two employees. Why?
Yeah.
That can't be right.
That boggles my mind.
It no longer feels weird that like the only person that Jack Torrance ever saw in The Shining was the freaking bartender. Anyway, so I go up to the
I thought
floor.
you disappeared.
Hmm?
I thought you disappeared.
No, I took a sip of coffee. I just
Oh.
stopped talking for 2 seconds.
Okay. I got real. I was like, Zack?
Ringu got me. I don't know her name.
Ringo?
Ringo Starr got me. So I go up to the floor, and the problem was that like I'm doing this through like a walkie, so like I kind of got the number on the door, but I wasn't sure which room I was looking for really.
Mm-hmm.
So I just decided I was just going to very quiet because it's also 2 a.m. I didn't want to wake anybody up. So I'm going to at 2 o'clock in the morning very quietly stalk the halls of the fourth floor of this hotel where I work, basically just listening for what room might be loud, might be considered loud. Because there are a couple of rooms where like the TV was on, and it's 2 a.m. and I can hear the TV clearly, but that's because it's dead silent and people fall asleep with the TV on sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think that's what was keeping people up. All of this. So I'm looking around. I can't figure out like what like part of this is also trying to figure out who would be that person that's going to wake up at 2 a.m. and email the front desk of the hotel
Yeah.
to say, hey, the people next door are being loud because they're talking a little bit. But I couldn't really figure out what room it was. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go back downstairs and get the room number again and double check. As I'm going by the meeting rooms on the fourth floor, because for some reason we have meeting rooms, but they're on the fourth floor.
Yeah,
Don't
that
ask
makes
me why
sense.
the
Make them
hotel is-
work. Make them work for their meeting.
So it's always like people from our corporate office too. Like that's where we send them to have meetings. It's odd. Yeah. So as I'm going by, I realized that the storage closet for the meeting rooms is popped open a little bit,
Oh my god.
and the lights are on in one of the meeting rooms.
Oh
And
my god.
I don't remember. I mean, here's the thing. Here's the secret. I don't pay a lot of attention when I'm walking the halls of the hotel, even during the day, when I'm marginally, actually, I couldn't tell you. I was probably more awake at 2 a.m. than I usually am at like 9 o'clock in the morning after I've like just gotten there and trying to pump coffee into my
Yep.
system. It's, I'm just doing it to kill the 10 minutes it takes me to walk the 4 floors because I want to kill 10 minutes of this hour going by.
Mhm.
So like, I'm not ever really looking. So that could have been like that the other 2 times I walked by it. I just never noticed.
Mm-hmm.
But because this was the moment where like I wasn't listening to anything and I'm moving slower than usual and I'm actually like looking at the doors as I pass by that it occurs to me, hey, this storage door is popped open and the lights are on in here. That's weird. So I just closed it all up and shut it down, and that was it. I just didn't bother walking the halls the rest of the night. It's
Wait,
like I
so
think I'm just making myself paranoid.
wait.
I think I think they just left the lights on in the meeting room and the door just was never closed, but it never clocked it because I wasn't paying enough attention every time I walked by the first time.
Yeah, okay, so that makes sense. But
So I just was like, but it
did
was
you
just weird.
find the people who
Oh yeah, no, it just happened to be like that. Just so happened that as the first time I walked by whatever room it was, they just weren't talking at that moment. So I would go downstairs, I get the room number, I go back up, and like I get that fun moment where I finally hear it because I can hear these three girls talking and laughing, and I was like, oh, I bet you that would wake up someone next door. But like as I'm about to knock, they get quiet again, and I'm like, I really don't know if this is worth it at 2:30 in the morning to deal with this
Mhm.
because they're just gonna say they weren't being that loud. We haven't heard anything else from the room next door. So maybe we can just say we did this and just didn't hear anything and move on. As I go to turn around, I notice that the voices are getting a little louder, as if people are getting closer to the door. And then I hear the doorknob turn, and I have to make the immediate decision to put my hand up like I was about to knock, so that when they open the door, I just go, "Oh, sorry. I was looking for a room. We got a message downstairs about some noise on the floor, and it sounded like you guys were awake, so I was just gonna knock."
Oh my
Like
god.
the weirdest word salad to come out of my mouth. Because I was like, because what I don't want it to look like is these three girls to come out of this room again at 2:30 in the morning,
And
and
you're
I'm
just
like
standing there.
skulking away.
Oh yeah. No, I get you. Um
Oh man, so I was like the weirdest state of high alert because I'm like, okay, weird things are happening, but also it's probably not that weird. It's a busted machine and someone left a light on, but I'm like, I'm tired, so I'm just like making myself paranoid. And then on top of that, I'm still can't seem to get away from any sort of social awkwardness when people shouldn't even be awake right now. I still manage to almost make a fool of myself. So, uh,
that's okay. I just I want to say welcome to my life as an RA. That was like basically what I had to do.
and like sure enough, I said, there was some noise on the floor, so I was just about to knock because I heard you up, and the first things out of their mouth were, "We weren't even talking that loud."
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like I was standing over there, and I
And
heard you
you,
laughing.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It's
uh,
weird. You tell that story. You tell stories of you like walking around the halls, and this happens while I'm watching TV shows too. And I have mentioned this while we were watching. What show were we watching? We were watching The Rookie or something. Maybe it might have been The Rookie. I don't remember. But they basically were stuck in an apartment building and had to keep responding to different, stuff around the apartment. And you don't know what's behind those doors. And like while we were watching it, my stomach was like turning and I was like getting really uncomfortable. It didn't happen to as much during your story, but like it happens because it gives me like weird PTSD. I don't, I use that term, loosely, but it gives me weird PTSD to when I was an RA because the amount of times I had to like take that moment of like what the fuck is gonna be behind this door and then knock on the door.
what am I stepping into that is going to take up the rest of my night? What is the thing
Exactly.
that I'm gonna knock here and then I'm gonna have to deal with whatever this is?
Yeah, like I walked into people smoking a hookah, like and being like, guys, the fuck.
I know it's not pot, but also if you're gonna set off a smoke alarm.
and oh my god, so I walked into that. I've walked into like this weird huge like old style television, like the big like black TVs.
So you stepped into you found a portal to the 50s is what you're saying.
No, not even the 50s, like early 2000s. Like maybe
Found this on Craigslist as it was free on the sidewalk if someone was willing to lift this 300
Yeah.
pound TV.
And
Yeah.
the thing was is that it was like third floor of
Hold on one. Sorry. Hold on 1 second. I'm getting called.
Oh no. During this interlude, I would like to share a story about a pig. The pig's name was Hans Gruber. Hans Gruber was a nice pig. Everybody loved Hans Gruber. He was a pig that they all loved. This family
Anyway.
in Connecticut loved Hans Gruber like he was their own child.
Hans Gruber. Isn't Hans Gruber the name of the bad guy in John McClane? Die Hard. There
In
we go.
John McClane.
I could remember John McClane. I couldn't remember Die Hard. I'm sorry. I've made the fatal mistake. We're recording a night early, and I made the fatal mistake of thinking, like, literally the last, like, hour, nothing from my family. And 20 minutes into this episode, they start calling down.
Oh my god.
I was like, ah.
No, I was telling a story about Hans Gruber the pig, which is the name of the pig on American Housewife.
I thought you were going to say you opened a college dorm and, as an RA and there was a pig inside and
No.
they had named Hans Gruber.
No, there was a story of people walking in to some kid's room and he had a hedgehog. And you weren't supposed to have hedgehogs.
Please, dear God, tell me he had not painted it blue.
No.
Okay, good.
No. What other yeah. But the one, like, your story makes me remember the most was, it was, so, like, quiet hours have to happen in dorms. And it's, like, at midnight is quiet hours. And if, when I was an RA, I basically had to do rounds every hour, which in my building, we cheated. We would do either, like, super rounds, which meant the entire night was just us walking the building. Other people would break it up and do like a floor an hour. I did the super round because I was like, no, I'm not just sitting in the conference room or sitting in the lounge and not knowing what's going on in the building.
You're not giving anybody a
Like,
chance for Breakfast Club type shenanigans.
Exactly. No, I was just like, I'm not gonna want to move, so I might as well do this. And this was like early on. I have multiple RA stories that I could go into on another time, but basically you would do a big round and then do a quiet hour rounds, which hopefully just was you in your pajamas and your Eevee slippers, and you didn't have to deal with anybody's bullshit.
Authoritative. That's a very authoritative outfit you just described.
Yeah, I know. It scared people. It scared them into being quiet. No. But, so, like, I had to make sure that there was no sound, and there would be those moments where it's like, okay, is this loud enough for somebody to complain? No. I also don't want to deal with it, so I'm moving on. There was a lot of, like, pretending I didn't hear sounds, and just being like, I don't fucking care. If someone calls, someone calls. But one night, I passed by a room, and it was quiet, and then, like, I got maybe 2 feet from it, maybe 2 feet from it, and eruption of just sound and yelling and laughter. And I'm like, son of a bitch. Like, I need to go in there now. And
It
so,
sounds like someone was like had their eye under the door and was just watching your feet go by. And the second you went by, they're like, "Oh, she's gone.
Yeah.
We're good."
Exactly. And so I'm like, fuck. Okay, so you take that breath, and I knock, and it was a freshman dorm room. So I knock on the door, and I'm like, RA immediately scrambles around the room, and I hear the deadlock get turned. So I'm like, well, these kids are drinking. Fun. And as you know, Rick is a dry campus. Rick was a dry campus when you were there, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it's a dry campus, so I'm like, fuck, now I have to deal with this. I don't care if you're drinking, but don't be stupid. So I'm like, okay, so I'm standing outside the door. I knock again, like, RA. And then one of the girls opens the door a little, and she's like, hey, what's up? I'm like, hey, you guys, you mind if I come in? Like, I heard some noise. You guys kind of deadbolted the door. I just want to come in, make sure everyone's good, whatever. And so basically I walked in there. They were all sitting. They all clearly had been drinking. And they were talking fine, thought they had got it over me. And I was about to leave. And I looked in some girl, a corner of the room. And some girl accidentally knocked over this bottle of vodka. And I was like, well, guys, now I see the alcohol, and I need to write you up. You locked me out of the room. I don't want to do this, but I can't. I'm sorry.
This was a fun game. This was a fun game of chess, but you gave up your queen. What can I say?
It's one of those moments where they're not they don't really get that much in trouble. It's basically they get, a slap on the wrist, and then they have to go talk to one of the, at least to me, it didn't seem like they would get that into much trouble. They basically just had to go talk to the hall directors and, pretty much apologize. Because, again, it was, their first offense or whatever. So, for me, if it was, older kids, maybe I would have just turned an eye, maybe, unless they were pissing me off. But with freshmen, I feel like I gotta teach them. I gotta be guys.
This is how you learn. This is how you learn that nobody moves. Nobody moves until the RA leaves.
Exactly. You guys got to the point where I was going to leave. I was going to leave and let you guys drink more. That is basically what I was about to do.
You don't hurriedly stuff beer on a shelf. That's not how that works.
Exactly.
You make sure you have a secret second mini fridge that cannot be seen from almost any angle. That's how that works.
Because there was another time, as an example, freshman door, bunch of kids in there, knew they had been drinking, and I was like, guys, I don't see any of it, so I can't call you on it, but I want you to know, if you need me, please call. Just be safe. I can't call you on something I can't see. So, yeah. That's how you do it. And I'm cool. I will be there and help you guys if you need my help. Yeah, so, but listening to you describe walking around the hotel just makes me think about that. And there were areas of the dorm that I lived in, that I was an RA in, where it was just I don't fucking want to go down there because anybody could be there, and it's scary. It's scary as fuck. Going by the laundry room at 2 a.m. was terrifying, and I didn't want no part of it.
Yeah, luckily, everything in the hotel is well lit and good to go. Even quote unquote patrolling the driveway, which I guess theoretically my job is to. I don't know what my job is in that situation. I guess make sure people aren't stealing stuff out of people's cars, and theoretically it's to make sure that people aren't just parked there overnight when they're not supposed to be. But that sounds like a lot of effort. To see if they all have parking tickets. I don't need that. So I just made sure that there weren't animals around and people's cars weren't their windows weren't getting smashed in.
Yeah.
That's all I did. But I mean, even that being going out into to the dark parking lot because we don't have a bunch of lights out there. Oh, it was fine. It was a bright enough night. I never felt in danger or anything out there.
Well, I feel it also comes with you watch a lot of horror movies. So
yeah, I know what to watch for.
So you know what to look for? Yeah, I don't.
The storage door, the storage closet left ajar. That's a little freaky.
Yes.
The thing in the gym on the Fritz does not scare me unless the lights are also out in the gym. Yeah. That would have freaked me out.
Yeah, I hear you. But I'm so happy that I did not watch movies like Happy Death Day and Scream while I was in school as an RA, because I'd be no, I know, I can't, no, I'm not walking around alone. Some baby face or ghost face is gonna come get me, and I'm not about that. It's bad enough now at work there is a mini little hallway I gotta go down every morning. And I'm like, I gotta make sure I lock the door. Okay, the door is shut. Okay, no one followed me in. Let's go. We're gonna go down. Okay, we're good. No baby face, no ghost face. I'm good. Like, that made me sound crazier than I actually am.
Nah.
It's not
Here's the thing.
every time. I want people to know that, like, not every time I feel this way. Just certain times where I hear creaks in the door.
I also doubt that there's anyone out there that hasn't felt that way at least once
Oh,
or
yeah.
twice, even as adults.
And even if they say they don't, I don't believe you.
I still prefer well-lit spaces. I'll be honest. Not afraid of the dark, but it's not like I'm not going to go running around in it. So,
Willfully.
there's animals out there.
There's coyotes.
There's coyotes on our
who
street.
throw parties and,
Yeah.
and call cops.
Oh, man.
Jeez.
And apparently, like, supposedly there's been coyotes even on the runway at the airport. It's like, that's great. The one thing I thought
God.
our hotel had going for it is we're right up against the runway, so I didn't think we'd have a lot of large animals around. Ugh.
It's fine. You just walk away. You just walk away from them. But if you hear a baby crying out in the night, don't go to it. It's probably a fisher cat. Lessons from
I just
Sarah
realized
Port
that you meant,
Jr.
I just realized that you meant outside and not like in one of the rooms.
Oh.
I was like, why would I go to one of the rooms with
No.
a baby crying? I presume there's an adult in there dealing with it.
Well, you should not assume, Zach. First of all,
Well, I don't think the
If a
baby checked
baby-
themselves in, Dale.
you don't know
gonna
what
have
the
the proper
situation
identification.
is.
Babies don't get credit cards. They can't cover incidentals.
Have you ever seen Baby Geniuses? I'm sure they could.
Ugh.
Look who's talking now. I've never seen that, but it's babies,
Boss Baby.
right? It's the babies. Boss Baby! How did I not think of Boss Baby? The Boss Baby definitely has some credit cards. And, like, is definitely not paying his bills. And checks into hotels and sits behind doors crying to see if anybody will help him.
I feel like Alec
I made
Baldwin
that
does
too
that. Not
real.
even just. Not even just
I made that too real.
did. I was hesitating. You know what? I got one other. Here's the. I got a lighthearted one for you. This is my last
God.
hotel story for the day. I haven't done a lot except work, so all I have is like hotel stories.
That's fine. I gotta be honest. I love hotel stories because it makes me think of a lot of stuff.
So because I don't have any way of like logging into a computer at work. It's great. I love it. I can't touch a single thing except like the clock in the van.
Nice.
And I don't have, and because I can't, like, I just can't help people sometimes. So, like, if I'm hanging out at the front desk and a bunch of people walk in, I'd be like, I can't help you. They can. I'm going to walk away now so that I stop getting glared at for not helping.
I'm gonna take
But-
the elevator down.
But, yeah, basically. So I'm standing, I'm just leaning at the front desk. It's kind of quiet, bored, hanging out with one of the girls that works front. Phone rings. Don't even do that. I've answered it sometimes to put people on hold. Like, less than 5 times I've done that. But otherwise, don't even touch the phone if it rings.
Don't even do that.
Because I can't do anything for you. So why does it matter?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even know how to transfer you to a room. Like, I got nothing. I couldn't call a room in this hotel if they needed me to. So she picks up the phone, and I hear her half of the conversation, which is, Fairfield Inn. This is the front desk. How can I help? Yeah, sure. I can take a message for a guest. What's his name? Oh, is he coming in with Republic or PSA? Those are some of the airline crews that come in.
Yep.
Okay, so is he coming in with this crew or that crew or time or whatever? Let me get his name here. And then what's the message you want to leave him? And then I hear her say, yeah, I'm not going to take that message.
Oh my god.
And then hang up the phone.
Oh my god.
And so I turn and I say,
What was
what was that? What just happened? And she goes, they wanted me to take a message for one of the pilots coming in on one of the crews. You got his name. I said, what's the message I can take? And this lady just said, tell him that his wife called, and I know he's cheating on me.
Oh!
And the girl at the desk got halfway through saying, I'm not going to take that message when the lady hung up on her, which is why she just hung up immediately after she said that.
That is
And I was like,
incredible.
are you, what? Who calls a complete stranger and says, take, dictated but not read, take this message? I know you have been unfaithful. Pass it along.
That's some fucking movie shit, man. That's like that, that's incredible.
Oh man.
Holy
I was like,
shit.
and then all day we were like discussing how, like, what do we do when the guy shows up now? Because like we didn't take the message, quote unquote. I mean, obviously we know what the message is.
Oh,
Well,
I
didn't take the
don't know
message,
if I
and
would.
so we're like, so what happens when the crew shows up? Do we wait for him to sign the sign-in thing, and then we check the name and see if it's him? Do we tell him that his wife called? What do we say if we tell him that his wife called? Do we just tell him that his wife called and to call her back? Do we wink at him and tell him, your wife called? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. What do we do? What do we do?
Oh my god. I'd like to say, like, I'd like to be the person who says I would tell him because fuck that guy, right? Like,
Right?
fuck that guy, honestly. If that woman has enough courage and enough, like, confidence to leave that message, fuck that guy. I'm gonna give her a message.
Like,
But at the same
here's the
time,
thing. I'll tell you the thing that I think stopped both of us, where we're just gonna let it slide. Was we both went, what if it's one of the flight attendants he came in with?
oh, that's not what would stop me.
That
That
we were like, we don't wanna embarrass anybody else on top of this guy.
Oh, no. That's not what would stop me. What would stop me is the recurrence of needing to see him.
Oh, that's true. I mean, we don't
That's
see them. It can be a few weeks in between, but we're
But
definitely
still.
gonna see that guy again.
exactly. That's honestly, that is the only thing that I think would have stopped me is like the realization of, oh, I'm gonna have to deal with this dude.
Yeah, you
Maybe
know
I'll
what, you
just
say
send
that?
him a note. Maybe I'll just send him an anonymous note, slide it under his door while he's, attending to his business.
Yeah, you say that. I definitely drove the same like flight attendant around like 3 times this week. Like
Yeah.
came in from a flight and flew out. Like, yep, you're right. I
Yeah.
definitely would see that guy again.
Oh, yeah. So, like, I don't know. I'd like to say that in that situation, I would tell him, but thinking on it, I think I would just write the note and, like, leave it for him and be like, someone
Put
left you a message, or
Hey.
someone left this for you.
You write it on a sticky note. When the guy checks in, you go to give him his key. You stick it to the key,
Yeah.
and you slide it to him
Yeah,
like a bribe.
yeah,
The weirdest bribe.
exactly. Or you take it one step crazier notch. You seal it in an envelope. You write it on like a really nice fancy card, right? So
She knows.
it's just like
she knows.
it's like your wife knows. Sorry, no, not even sorry. Just your wife knows or she knows. She knows is better. Kudos to you, Zach.
She knows, and then it's on the very bottom, courtesy of the front desk.
Yes, exactly. She knows. I wouldn't even say that it was from the front desk. Cause like then
So you would rather this guy have like a hitman freak out that
Yes.
someone's coming after him? Like
Yeah.
in Skyrim when you kill someone by accident and the next thing you know you wake up with a note in your pocket that
Yeah.
says we know you're a murderer, come
Yeah.
join the Black Hand or whatever their name is.
Yes, pretty much. Like, I don't want any ties to the hotel. I don't want any, like, I wouldn't even use hotel freaking, what is it
Stationery?
called? Stationery. Thank you. I would get, like, a Hallmark card, like, and put it in an envelope.
This is where you get
with
the
it.
This is where the overnight thing comes in. Is that you get the note. He comes in, he signs in, he gets a room, and then we know what room he's in. So then when I'm working in the middle of the night and I'm bored at 3 a.m., I just walk by and just slide that thing under his door.
Exactly.
Keep going.
Exactly. This is why I wouldn't be able to do jury duty, by the way. because I am so invested in this.
We just put together a whole terrible, not even crime, but definitely a thing that would ruin a marriage.
Yes, but like his
I mean, to be
fault.
fair, he ruined that
He
marriage.
ruined that. He ruined that marriage. He is the one. I just love how fucking movie that is. How like
That was like, I never thought that would happen in real life. That I would be like, that the woman would call and be like, oh, just tell my husband I know he's cheating on me.
well, it's like, and it comes with the territory, unfortunately, with the hotel, because like there is a staple against hotels, and like that's where people
That's what people
go
use.
to
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what people use hotels for.
exactly.
Especially if they're like near airports.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you add on top of it that he is a like a pilot.
But he's a pilot, so he's flying all over the place. He's gone 4 days a
pilot.
week. Yeah. Oh my god.
It's just like these are the stories that make me want to work at a hotel. And I'm not even kidding when I say that.
Oh man.
I've wanted to work at a hotel for quite some time, but hearing that these stories actually happen makes me want to work at a hotel even more. That's what I'm trying to say. God, that's incredible.
Then I had to take that energy with me into working at the theater last night. Like, this is so much more boring. Most exciting thing that happens at
No one's
the
calling
theater on
out
a
their
Sunday
cheating
night?
husbands.
Yeah. The most exciting thing that happens there is the food court in the mall closed at 6 o'clock on Sundays. So all of our food, all of a sudden, we become the people who are also serving food to people.
Oh yeah.
And these three, I say kids, I mean, they were 24 because I gave them all drinks, but they were also high as balls. And so they just wanted all of the food. So, like, they walked up and they're like, here's the drink I want. And they changed their drink order 3 or 4 times. And then they noticed there was a food menu.
Oh my God.
And one of them just goes, oh, snap. Can I get the mozzarella sticks? No. Wait. The buffalo bites. Wait. No. Flatbread pizza. Barbecue flatbread pizza. Oh, and the other flatbread pizza. Just give me both of them. Oh, you know what? Give me a chicken quesadilla, too.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's incredible.
And then I was like, food can take like 10 minutes or so, and that gets longer if you order more food. You're okay with that? When does your movie start? And the girl turns to me and goes, oh, our movie started 10 minutes ago. I'm not worried about that.
They're probably going to see like Toy Story 4. It was
Right.
fine.
Something that had just opened and there was a bunch of trailers.
Yeah. Jesus.
But like the movie was the last thing on their mind the second they realized that like we could give them booze and food. And they were like,
incredible. That's awesome.
So that's been my week.
Oh gosh.
Oh
yeah, I haven't talked about.
You haven't talked at all yet.
Well, I've talked. I just haven't shared what I've done this week.
Did I just take up 45 minutes of our episode with hotel talk?
38,
Anyway.
38, give or take.
Oh my
I went
God.
into a tangent about RA stuff. It's
That's true.
okay.
That's
That
very true.
And that honestly could have gone longer. I got a lot of shit I could talk about from the RA world. Oh God. No. So what did I do this week? I've been trying to beat Ultra Sun because when Let's Go came out, I pretty much even before
I put away my childish toys of Sun and Moon and moved on to Let's Go.
Exactly. I mean, even before Let's Go, I had kind of fallen off of the Ultra Sun wagon, but I still love that game. So I was like, I beat Let's Go. Before I beat it a second time in a Nuzlocke, I should finish Ultra Sun. And like because I know I'm at the end almost. I was at. You beat Moon, right? Or
yes.
You beat Sun, right?
Sun, yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I was at the altar. Did I just get to the altar of the sun to like play the flutes?
Oh my God! I just imagine that sentence just like hit somebody who has no idea what the fuck we're talking about.
They have no clue. It's
You're
fine.
like the altar, and I was like, who got married? Wait, hold on.
Yeah, so like I think that's where I had stopped playing the game. Maybe there was a trial beforehand, but like I'm almost at the end of the game right now. And so I was like, okay, I just need to buckle down and finish this. And it is when that game like hits its climax of the story, oh my god, does it get insane? Like
You mean when it starts to get into its Cthulhu-esque ripping apart of the multiverse? Yes.
Yes. But in Ultra Sun, now you haven't played the Ultra ones, right?
No.
Okay.
And then
So,
in Sun, I played through where I became champion or whatever, but I know that there's like stuff that happens after that. There's like people that show up in the motel to give you more stuff to do.
yeah.
And I never did any of that.
Oh, so you didn't do the Ultra Beast stuff?
Like I never caught them. Like I did the Ultra Beast, I did like whatever the story with the scientists and stuff, but I don't think I ever actually like went Ultra Beast hunting or whatever they do with that.
Because the post game of Sun and Moon is you go talk to those people, the people who have like been researching the Ultra Beasts, and you have to go to certain areas in each of the islands and catch like 5 of them or 4 of them, and so that you can gain research on them.
Right.
So
no,
you
I
never
did
that.
part. No.
Okay. So yeah, that was fun too, and then you get to go into like an alternate version of your game to get the second legendary. So I have both legendaries, and I
So
did
they
not have to
basically were
trade
like,
for them.
So after decades of like, we want you to buy both games, they were like, well, what if we just gave you one?
Yeah, pretty
We're not
much.
We're not going to give you all of the Pokemon.
Yeah.
Let's be clear. We're just going to give you the top 2, though.
Exactly. Yeah, and I found that
We're
out.
Gonna give you we're going to give you that weird Sundog and that weird bat.
Hey, they're the best. I love them. Solgaleo, and Lunala.
God. I love it. I love once you get the Pokemon God status, they're just like, we don't fucking care about your names anymore.
Yep.
This shit is just
well,
consonants thrown together.
And Lunala was the first Pokemon I ever actually nicknamed, like in a full run through of a game, because you spend the whole story knowing it as Nebby. So I'm like, well, I need to name it Nebby. I can't not name it Nebby. So then when I caught the Solgaleo and evolved it and did all that, I named it Crash. So it was Crash and Nebby, like Crash Nebula.
Can we also talk
space.
for a second about the fact that one of those looks like it comes from Cosmog and one of them is a dog? Can we like?
Well, they both look like they come from Cosmog. If you actually look at them,
I don't know. The weird moon bat looks more like something that would come out of Cosmog than just
look at Solgaleo's face. You look at Solgaleo's face, and you tell me, that they do not come. Actually, technically, Solgaleo, this is not what I wanted to talk about at all.
Deal with it.
Somehow we got
here.
It's
got Nebby's face. It's just that, just like the rest of it, though. Like,
it's just like the
bat
body.
looks like you just stretched out Cosmog into a moon bat. But this is just like we stuck him on a dog. We just stuck this thing on a dog.
He's a lion.
Whatever.
It's not a dog. The dogs are coming in Sword and Shield. You'll get your dog.
I get my big shield beard face man with his big bushy beard.
Get my sword doggy. But yeah, so there was I got a Lunala card from a Pokemon pack, and on the bottom, and you can look him up in their Pokedex entries, Solgaleo is technically, or some think that Solgaleo is the male form of Cosmog, and Lunala is the female form. So, yeah.
I mean, sure.
Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, what does it matter? But I thought that was cool, because, like, they're the first legendaries that actually have gender, I guess? Like,
the first, I was going to say, don't even say that they're the first Pokemon. There are definitely, you meant legendaries, though.
I meant legendaries.
That makes more sense.
So yeah, that was cool. I don't know where I was going. Oh, yeah, so Ultra Sun gets freaking batshit crazy, and you have to, like, use your DS, like, gyro movements to get to Necrozma to fight it. And, like, you have to steer your Lunala while you're going through the Ultra Wormhole, and no one knows what I'm fucking talking about, because these are just words that don't make sense.
You are describing half the mini games in Disneyland Adventures, though.
Oh my God.
That's my favorite.
Ugh,
You're just
Jesus.
describing.
Oh, God. But yeah, so I've been trying to finish Ultra Sun, and I, like, just got to the grand trial, so, like, the final trial of the game before I go on to fight the quote-unquote Elite Four. And, like, the last trial I just did was basically going around to all the island kahunas, but beating them and then getting a pedal from them. But two of them don't want to fight, like, straight up are just like, here's the pedal. We don't care. And it's
You
like,
mean nothing to us.
it's like, what the hell? No, it's like they don't. One of them straight up was like, yeah, the kid who fought me beforehand really took it out of me, so I don't want to go through that again. Here's my pedal. And, like, it's the last pedal that you need. And, okay, I guess I learned a lesson. I'm super strong and you're afraid of me. Cool. Thanks.
Someone else has also had to do an overnight shift, it sounds like. I'm just tired.
Well, it's the guy.
it.
It's the guy who, like, is a surprise that he's a kahuna. The old guy, the old-looking dude.
So the guy. Oh, you mean the first guy?
No, the
Oh,
guy,
no, wait, you know,
the, like,
kahuna.
lazy guy who's just like an enforcer. He's, like, just as, like, a cop, kinda.
Oh, the guy that's like, oh yeah, the guy that like hangs out with Meowth in the police station and just
Yeah.
like, it's like, sick of all of this. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
like outside of the Po Town of where the Team Skull hang out.
Yeah.
That guy. And I'm like, oh, he's a kahuna. As soon as I saw him, and then, oh, I'm the island's kahuna. It's like, yeah, I knew that.
I am not at
Thanks.
all surprised that his response is just take this shit and get out of my face.
Yeah, no, right? Exactly. But yeah, so in between that, I also bought Hob, which I mentioned last episode that I bought Hob, and oh my god, do I love Hob.
I'm so excited. That's a game that I feel like I have to see when that came out. I know that just came out for Switch, but was it out for PC for a long time?
I have no idea.
I have to look that up because that was a game that I knew was coming for a very long time and was never really sure when it was coming out. And then all of a sudden it was out on Switch. And I don't know if I somehow missed a prior release of that game.
I don't know. I literally was like, I had $20 in the eShop, and I was like, I want to buy something. I want a new game. I just don't. I'm so nervous when it comes to, like, buying stuff digitally on the Switch.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's gonna be there forever. Like, I gotta like it.
I like how you say, I mean, you do have a re-download option. Does it not have to stay on your Switch?
Oh, I know that. But it's like, in the memory, I know I could get rid of stuff. Just like I get rid of stuff on the PS4. But it's like, well, I'm gonna spend the money. I want it to be on something good. And so I saw Hob while I was, scrolling through, and I watched the trailer, and I'm like, oh, this looks interesting, and it's on sale. Okay, maybe. And then there was a demo, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm trying it, and I fell in love with the demo and was like, I need to buy it because it just has those elements of rhyme, which I think I've mentioned before.
Yes.
And how much I love rhyme, but it has combat. So it's like the beauty and the, like, puzzles of rhyme, but I actually get to fight shit. And
I love it. I love it so much. They're like, yeah, artsy shit's fine, but I want to punch stuff.
I mean, I love artsy and I love indie stuff as much as the next person. But let me tell you something. You give me a giant robot arm, you better let me fight with it.
I could have solved Mist a lot quicker if I could just burn those damn books. That's all I'm saying.
What?
No one will get that joke because Sejin doesn't listen to our episodes enough, and he's the only one that'll get that. Devin might. I don't know if Devin's played Mist, but anyway.
Oh my god, that's great. I love it. I want to know what it's from.
Yeah, so Hob did actually come out in 2017.
Yeah.
I knew that. I knew it was out for a while, but I'm happy that it's like out on Switch because I do want to try it. But they
the demo.
The people that made that, oh yeah, demos. Demos are like free rentals. That way makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like spending money on renting games anymore. I just want to buy it and then I'll get to it later. But the other two games that they made were Torchlight and Torchlight 2,
Yes,
which
yeah.
are excellent games. But like I remember Hob was like such a huge changeover after doing two like essentially Diablo style
Mm,
uh not run and gun, like dungeon crawler run around
yeah,
dungeon crawler games.
yeah.
So
Yeah, no, you should play the demo because I am so into it, and it's one of those games where I love puzzle games like this, cause it's not just run around until you want to scream. It's no, there is a clear way to do this, and we trust you.
and use your platforming skills to
Like,
do it.
yes, exactly. And it's one of the, searching and exploring stuff doesn't is not big with me, but this one, like, I want to explore. And you find like little upgrades, you find little you know, like certain areas that will help you and give you tools that, so it's like, okay, so by exploring I'm also actually going to help myself, and I love what the world looks like, so I want to see more of it. This is fun. Like, I don't even care if I'm not going in the right direction. I want to know more. So yeah, but it's those moments where, like, Devin came home yesterday and I was playing it, and I looked at him, I'm like, I have no fucking idea what I'm supposed to be doing right now, but I'm gonna finish whatever I'm doing. And
Were
we
you
will.
five? Were you 5 inches from the TV in a recliner like he was with Bloodstained, or just?
No, I was in a rocking chair. I was 5 inches away in a rocking chair.
Oh my God!
Not five, maybe a little bit further back, but
I say
yeah.
this as someone who definitely like has my Switch on TV mode, and I'm still like 5 inches from my
Yeah,
TV.
yeah, yep.
It's almost like I'm holding it to my face that way. Uh,
It's still a handheld. But yeah, no, Hob, I love it, and I can't wait to play more. And then the other stuff I did this week was I saw 3 movies. 2 were really, really fun. One of them was not.
ooh, wait. Okay, name the 3 movies,
Okay, so I saw.
and I want to play a game.
Okay, all right. I will say them in order of how I saw them.
Yes.
Yesterday, which was an
Okay.
early screening because yesterday is out this week.
Okay.
Anna, not
Okay.
Annabelle.
No, I know what you meant.
Anna.
Yep, the Luc Besson
Mm-hmm.
film, right? Okay.
And Toy Story 4.
Okay. So here's the thing. My knowledge of Dale. Hmm. Hmm. My knowledge of Dale, and also my less knowledge of film than Dale and Devin. Let's see. I know you're not a huge Pixar fan, which means there's a very good chance that Toy Story 4 was the bad one. But
Wait.
yesterday is such a 50-50 shot. Actually, Anna is just because it's from Luc Besson and the guy that made Lucy. There's a good chance that was also bad, but also very fun for being so bad. And then yesterday, like, I have been 50-50 on, because I was like, I saw that trailer and I was like, I think I know how this movie ends, and therefore I don't know if I want to watch it because it looks like it might be very good, but if it's the ending I think it is, then I would be so mad. So, if I had to choose, I'm going to take the safe bet because I'm a coward and say that the Toy Story 4 was the bad one.
No.
Damn it. I knew it. What was it? Which one was it?
Couple things. Hold on. Couple things. I don't not like Toy Story. I mean, Pixar. I like Pixar.
I thought Pixar was one of those ones where you just like sometimes saw Pixar movies, but like weren't like always into them.
No, in fact, the problem I have with Pixar is Disney. Like,
Okay.
how Disney just kind of came in and was like, Disney Pixar. And that people think of Toy Story as a Disney movie when it's not. It is a Pixar movie. In
True.
fact, if anything, I like Pixar more than I like Disney. Like
Maybe that's what I'm thinking
maybe
of?
that
I don't
is.
know.
I
Maybe
mean,
I'm swapping those. I could have sworn for some reason you were not a fan of like in general of Pixar films.
No, no, I love Pixar films. I like, yeah, and I even love the Disney Pixar films, but it's still that like, why does everybody think Toy Story is Disney?
Well, because I mean,
No,
yes,
I know
Pixar
why
made
they
it, but
do.
Disney
I know
distributed
why
it and
people
all
do.
that, right?
But it's because Toy Story was before their merger,
Right.
unless Disney actually did distribute it.
Oh yeah, no, Disney has always distributed them. It's just
Oh,
that
I didn't
Pixar
know
was
that.
the yes. It was just that what happened was Pixar was essentially in the Marvel space, which was they were an independent company that
Yeah.
Disney distributed. And then what happened was they had like a basically had a contract with Disney, which was so many years and so many movies, and then they get to basically leave Disney and do their own thing. And then they shat out Cars to fulfill that, and Cars was so big that Disney said, "How about we buy you instead?"
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden
Oh,
folded them, then became Disney Pixar.
yeah.
But
No,
yes, Disney has always like put out those movies, but yes, Pixar was independently making everything from Toy Story to Cars.
mhm,
Theoretically,
mhm.
Pixar made independently from Disney having any input.
Yeah. And I
And
mean, it,
questions, of course, of how much input Disney really has with Pixar now, like the same way that they do with Marvel, is like how much does Disney actually influence that versus let them do their own thing.
yeah,
But that's a whole
exactly.
other stuff. But
No,
yes,
and I mean,
it's largely a branding thing.
even
But
with that, yes, and even with that, like, I still love Disney. I love Disney movies, and I love Disney, but I don't like some of the stuff around Disney
oh
and
yeah,
how it practices
oh
stuff.
yes, of course, yes. No,
So,
Disney
like,
is a horrible conglomerate.
yes, exactly. But that doesn't say that I don't appreciate Disney movies, but I don't. There are movies that I don't like from both of them. Like and I can't even say because I get confused. Like, well, no, Brave is Disney. I didn't like Brave. I did not like Inside Out, and I did not like Frozen the first time I saw it. And then we played Kingdom Hearts, and I
Well,
was like,
Frozen.
oh, all the worst parts of Frozen have been taken out during this Kingdom Hearts playthrough. I like this.
Frozen is also just straight up Disney. That's not even
Yeah, I know.
Pixar.
But I
Oh,
think,
okay.
Brave is also straight up Disney.
No, Brave is Disney Pixar.
Is it?
Yeah, Brave is definitely a Pixar film.
I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know. But, anyways, bottom line, I like Pixar. I've always liked Pixar. There was a point where, like, when I was looking into, like, jobs and work, I was looking into working at Pixar because of how much, like, Pixar movies meant to me as a kid. But yeah, no.
Yeah, and yeah, I think a big thing that happened, and I think a big thing that probably feeds into the stuff that you don't like, is what happened was Pixar outdid Disney because Disney's 2D stuff started to fail, and
Yeah.
Pixar became like their animation studio, and so Disney turned around and just started copying Pixar for their own shit,
Exactly.
and like definitely started confusing those things.
Well, that's like
because like
Inside
Planes,
Out and Planes, like,
well, because Inside Out is Pixar, Planes
Yeah.
is not. But
Yeah.
Planes is definitely theoretically in the universe of Cars when
exactly.
Cars is Pixar, but
Yeah.
Planes is not. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
The thing that I don't like is exactly what we're like, the fact that I am confused and can't pinpoint which ones are Pixar and which ones are Disney now. Like, that's what upsets me because
Yeah.
it's like, no, that shouldn't be how it is. I should know when I look at a movie that it was a Pixar movie, and I should know when I look at a Disney movie that it's a Disney movie.
Yeah. The slightly easier way to do it now is that the ones that still have music are generally still Disney.
Yeah.
But even that's like a 50-50 thing on whether or not they put music in their things.
Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, no. So,
but yeah.
but I know I love Pixar.
Okay. So which was the bad one then?
Yesterday.
Yeah, I knew it. Okay. I knew there was a possibility. Interesting concept that is just way too easy to to screw up.
Oh yeah.
Anyway.
But Luc Besson, right? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes.
Yeah. Valerian is one of my favorite movies. Like,
Oh God, I always forget that he also did Valeri.
Yep. I did not like Lucy. I did not like Lucy. There are things in Lucy that I find very interesting, though, and that is 100%, Luc Besson and all of that. But Valerian, like, I could look you in the eye and tell you that Valerian is one of my favorite movies. Like, I fall asleep to it almost every night. because it is just incredible. It's visually stunning. Like, I like the story. Everything about it I love. So, yeah, he is definitely someone who I like as far as directors go and whatnot. But yeah, Anna was so much fun because it's basically John Wick meets Atomic Blonde.
Yeah, I don't, which is funny,
And
but the fact that those are already share creators. Anyway,
yeah, like, but it's yeah, no, Pixar, Toy Story 4 and Anna were both very, very fun. They have logistical issues, but that's just when
we've
you
already discussed the fact that
that's
Toy Story went and jumped the shark,
exactly.
causing a lot of
Oh
logistical issues
yes,
by having us by just
yes,
not walking away. Yeah.
exactly. But it's like their issues are the issues with those two movies come when you apply them to a real world setting. The setting that they're immensely fun and they are fun and good movies. But when you are thinking about them afterwards and start applying them to real world logic, there's issues. So don't do that. But yesterday, fuck, no. No. It started out really good and then it continued.
That sounds about right. That sounds about my feeling with that trailer when I looked at it. I was like, this sounds like a thing that has like an interesting concept that like could very easily wear out its welcome, and it's really can only go in one direction for an ending. So like,
yeah. Can you tell, I'm not going to tell you, but can you tell me what you think the ending is going to be?
I mean, so going
Based
from
on
the
the
trailer,
trailers.
there
Yep.
is a blackout. He is hit by a car. He wakes up. He's the only one that remembers the Beatles. That's the basic setup from the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
So is that what happens in the movie? First off, that they actually set that story up correctly?
Yes, that
Okay.
is what happens.
So that means the end of that movie almost definitively has to end with him still being in a coma. And it's all a dream or some shit.
Okay.
Like that's what that seems to lead to.
Mm-hmm.
So unless the story just gives that up and is like, nope, this is just reality now. Like, I don't know, like, what did he do? Put him. I mean, because even if it was like, I'm gonna fix this by getting another head injury, that just sets up all the possibilities that it was all in his head to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I tearing apart a movie I haven't seen yet?
That's fine. That's why I asked you, because I wanted to hear. Because I can't wait for you to see yesterday, and I can't wait for our episode about it. Just like we own Serenity now, Zach.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yes.
I'm excited about that one.
Yeah. I cannot wait for our Serenity
That is
episode.
a movie that I think I know almost every beat to the plot of at this point, because I have heard so many different people and read so many different things about it, and still I need to sit down and actually see if any of it's true.
Yep.
Because I still cannot believe it exists.
Yeah. Don't read anything about yesterday. Just go see that movie. Just go see it with the trailer knowledge. If you go see it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was the one. That was the one where I was like, this is a
I knew
movie.
that was like that was the one that I knew had like because here's the thing, I don't know anything about Anna. My entire knowledge on Anna is that Luc Besson is involved, which means that God knows it could be like every now and then you get The Professional or The Fifth Element, and then sometimes you get Valerian, and then sometimes you get Lucy, and then sometimes you get Lockout, and Lockout is fucking brilliant. Have you ever seen Lockout?
No.
Luc Besson is like a co-writer on the script and not even one of the directors. So he's almost, and he might have been like a producer, but he's almost not involved in this movie. But it's still one of his best movies, where Guy Pearce has to go to space jail to save the president's daughter. They have put all of the most dangerous criminals in a satellite space jail, and somehow they managed to kidnap the president's daughter. And so they send in Guy Pearce to save her.
Oh my God.
It's ridiculous, and I love every minute of it.
Well, I need to check that out because that sounds.
Oh, it's so
fantastic.
good. It's so good.
Jeez. But yeah, that was my week.
Oh.
I don't really got anything else.
Oh, so because I don't want you to spoil anything, I am going to ask a yes or no question.
I may or may not answer.
So when Toy Story 4, the preview came out, and a large existential crisis about Forky. Just yes or no. It's not like someone's dead dad, right? That's not who that character is. That's not that's not the girl's dead dad's
No.
ghost in that fork.
No.
Okay, cool. That's all I needed to know. Because when that came out, we had a whole discussion about
I
that.
know we did.
About
Oh,
whether
I
or
do
not, like,
remember this
right,
now.
about like, wait, are they gonna try and explain how toys come to life? And oh my God, is it the
yeah.
ghosts of dead people?
I completely
I forgot
erased
we talked
that
about
conversation.
I mean, any normal person would. I
But
have
no.
not stopped thinking about
It
it.
is not that.
So okay, cool, fine. That's all. That's it. Everything. I'll figure out the rest when I see it. Then, but I just needed to know
God,
because,
that's
like, I
great.
can't handle that.
No. It's not. It's not that.
Mostly because, like, to me, Tom Hanks and Woody are so tied together that all I would ever think after that is, oh my God, they killed Tom Hanks to make Woody. That's the only way that universe works if these are the ghosts of dead people.
Oh my God. Oh God. I'm ending the episode because I can't think of that. Because like it's no, I can't.
Although you can always get Jim Hanks to voice him if you need it. Thank you, Kingdom Hearts. And probably Disneyland Adventures. I think they got worse voice actors for Disneyland Adventures, but better music. That's
I signed the contract.
basically.
Oh man. But yeah, that was it. That was it from me.
Cool.
Is that it from you?
I'm good. I finally have a day off tomorrow. I think I'm supposed to do like a board game night. That'd be good.
Nice. That should be fun.
And then I don't know. I'll see who else tries to haunt me at work.
Oh my God. I can't
I
wait
did
to hear. I can't
I
wait
did-
to hear.
I did finally have that one time where I like went to go drop someone off, and as they were getting out of the car, they went, "Oh shit, I forgot my purse in the hotel room. Time to go back."
Oh. Yeah, that's bad. Extra tip though. Oh
Yeah,
man.
you think?
You think so? Did it happen?
Nope.
Oh man, that sucks.
It's fine.
All right.
It was one of the flight attendants. The flight attendants are probably tipping people all day. They can't afford to keep tipping people more than a couple bucks at a
True.
time.
True.
Oh
Man.
But yeah, so you can find us on Twitter at sayreportjr and on YouTube at sayreportjr, where you can watch us play the Great Gatsby game.
Whoop whoop.
You can find us on Spotify as well as iTunes and other podcast things. And then you can find us individually on Twitter. I am at Zwisky.
And I am at Dale's Brain.
I think we should all get ice cream.
I already had ice cream, but I'll have more.
Jealous.
Take it away, Liz.
Thank you for listening to The Say Report with your hosts Dale Decker and Zack Sarowik. Please follow the guys on Twitter and Facebook by searching for The Say Report, and you can always subscribe on your podcast channel so this is delivered straight to you and you can enjoy it every week. With apologies to your mother, we'll see you next time.